And then maybe some 20 cents of Ayo. He wants me to do 20 cents of Ayos. I shouldn't have said that to him. They didn't let you to the poll station with that on, man. Please don't clip this. This was this was the guy. I sent him a video of this. I don't even know if he was homeless or not. He was just a random New York resident. He was on the bench like, I don't want to break my chair. He's don't clip that. Nobody clip that. Yo. Yeah, let's get this started, man. Findel, don't send that. Don't send that.
Say it. Just because you have one good conversation with your homies, that does not mean that you need to start a podcast. I'm tired of dudes talking about aliens once, then thinking they have the right to buy a Shure SM7B from Best Buy. Now they got a podcast.
This is a sentiment that I think I have a song for you to react to after that one. Okay, send yo, send it in chat, yo. California, send it in chat. Is it your song? What So Hot 27 said was uncalled for. I was just laughing at his. Okay, but what was I about to say? Oh, I got my train of thought back. The epidemic of people my skin, and here he goes. The people my skin color who just start podcasts just because they think they have something interesting to say. And it's like, you don't. We should start a podcast. The Gaming with Gaming podcast, I think, will go hard. But that's the thing. I want to do it when we're up. Like, I want to do it when, like, we have, the right equipment, like the studio space. You get what I'm saying? Like, I want it to be like a high budget podcast. I want it to be like the Talk to a podcast, but not everybody deserves a podcast. And I heavily believe that people should be screened before they start getting podcast equipment. The amount of takes that I see on TikTok, the amount of nonsense. Is this nigga serious? What are you talking about, Xylophone? The amount of takes that I see on TikTok is it's mind-boggling. It's like, yo, nigga said to talk to. What's wrong with the Talk to a podcast? There's nothing wrong with the Talk to a podcast. But yeah, like, it's like, no. You think somebody who I think would do a good podcast, and he kind of does like that kind of style of content, but not like fully. Like, he just interviews people. Will. I want to go on a Cooking with Will episode. Cooking with Will, Gaming with Gaming. I've been pushing for it. So Hot's been pushed for it. I need that to happen immediately. Everybody in the comments, on YouTube, at Will TV, or what's this at on Will the Weirdo on YouTube? I don't know. Gaming with Gaming, Cooking with Will episode. That's all I'm pushing for. Hello. But yeah, not everybody needs a podcast. This is what the video's about. My bad. Let me.
That's called Alien Talks. That's just uninteresting and dry. The host sucks, the friends suck, and even the podcast name sucks. You're not the next Joe Rogan, bro. Put the mic down, put the fries in the bag. Someone's got to say it. Remember that one relative that told you that you weren't making it to the NBA when you were like 5 years old? Just think of me as that. Hey, everyone needs a little bit of tough love in their life. Not everyone can be nice in this world. And I'm going to be the boogeyman here saying how your podcast sucks and your friends are boring. Maybe you should think twice before you take that trip to Best Buy. See, the problem is
Hold on. Okay.
World is way too nice now. And now we have podcast clips of dudes talking about how they want their mothers to have good sexual experiences.
Because I love my mom. I want her to come. I don't know if this is weird to say, but I want my mom to have flawless experiences.
How do you not know if that's weird to say?
That's disgusting. And the fact that people get rewarded for these kind of clips with just attention, and the fact that attention is so desperately needed, that's disgusting.
Say, like, oh my gosh, I want my mom to have great sexual experience. That is weird.
I want you to have that,
too.
And I want you to have that as well. So it's like, is that weird to say? Like, I genuinely want my mom to be getting down good.
I'm going to give you some tough love right here. This is going to be the toughest love that you've ever felt.
Rants IV. What do you mean, Rants IV? I take. What do you mean? I would never say anything like that. That's disgusting. Yo, somebody time out Fendo. Somebody time out Fendo. What the hell, man?
In a well-done steak. You need to stop podcasting, bro. I'm sorry. Never in my life have I ever thought about my mom having good sexual experiences. Y'all are just odd human beings.
What do you mean, cat?
What even sparks this conversation? Like, how do you even get to this point? And why was this video even uploaded to the masses, bro? We need to start telling people no more often.
Average
you know
British
what, man?
combo.
I'm thinking about starting a podcast. No, bro, put the mic down. At this point, it needs to be easier to buy an RPG from a gun store than it is to buy a microphone from Best Buy.
And he's saying that now. When the YNs get hold of these rocket launchers, the epidemic will start. Like, it's no turning back after that. Like, I get it's hyperbolic, but yo, imagine you get pressed on the street by some young hooligan, and he's like, yo, what the hell you say? And then he pulls out a rocket launcher. What do you do in that situation? Everybody, tell me what you would do in that situation. Because at that point, it's like, yo, because not only am I going to get blown up, you're going to get blown up. Everything in the surrounding area is going to get blown up. What? That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't think calling everybody a crash out because they, like, you know, live that kind of lifestyle is good. But, like, some people actually live like that. Rocket ride on, yo, he might be on to something. OG season is back. He might be on to something.
If there were background checks for mics, we would be nowhere near this point. It feels like everyone has a podcast nowadays. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone. NBA players,
literally,
rappers,
oh my
children.
Yo, the amount of NBA players that have podcasts, and like, it's so annoying. Some of it's interesting, right? Some of it is interesting and funny. Because, you know, some of them have, you know, very, very, very unique experiences in the NBA. But then other times, it's just like, what the hell why are we interviewing Michael Porter Jr.? Why are we interviewing Michael Porter Jr.? If it was a podcast with LeBron, this is not even glazing. This is not even glazing right now. Like, he's considered the best NBA player. He is the best NBA player in the NBA right now, right? So that's where his kind of expertise comes in. Why am I tuning into a podcast to hear Darius Garland talk? Nothing against him. He's been hooping, but it's like, yo, why am I watching that? None of my business.
A girl just started a podcast called Talk to Her. Don't get me wrong, shout out to her for running up a bag off that one phrase, you know? I saw that she got $30K for popping out to a club a few weeks ago. Like, kudos to her, you know? I'm gonna clap it up for her. But why would
Hawk Tua, Haley Welch, I just know where's Hawk Tua, right? The guy, I can imagine how, like, he's just seething knowing that he made this lady famous. And he literally gets nothing from it. He gets no recognition. She got famous off of Hawk 2. Spit on that thing. Spit on that thing. Spit on that thing. Spit on that thing. And he gets none of the recognition. What if he decided to just scrap the clip? Do you know, and I don't mean to sound cringe here. Do you know how, clip it, don't clip it. Do you know how massive the Hawk 2 meme is? Do you know how massive the low taper fade meme is still? Oh my gosh, I'd be molding. I really would. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That's crazy.
I want to hear that woman speak for 2 hours straight each week about current events in her life. I mean, for crying out loud, she got famous for talking about how she spits on the pee-pee.
Like, I can't express it enough. I'd be so angry if I was that guy. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, yo, you just siphoned all this money, all this opportunity from me. And does she break bread with him? Because he could have just scrapped the clip. He could have just been like, oh, I don't think that was funny enough. You know? None of my business. Next time, yo, somebody catch you in a public interview in the next year, just know it's going to be something crazy. The clip is going to be something crazy. But just know, all of you, I'm bringing all y'all with me. All right? I'm bringing all y'all with me. I'm not gonna squander that opportunity. All right. Okay.
Why am I supposed to care about what this woman has to say? Does she really need a podcast for saying "Hawk 2" and spit on that
Fortnite. You get me?
The world could go without a podcast from this woman. You know what? Maybe I'm just hating. You know, maybe why don't I just check out one episode?
Can't do it as good as
Do
Haley.
it.
You do it.
No, you do it.
Hot to.
You gotta put like an emphasis on it, like tuh. You know, like really. Yeah. Say it. All right, all together.
Hot to.
Hot tuh.
Hot to.
Say it aggressive, like
Hot
really.
to.
Black, white, or brown, Americans won't let in.
I'm playing Fortnite Festival right now, and I don't have a drum set. Fortnite has not given us a free drum set this whole chapter. Okay. So, buy the festival pass. Buy one of them ones in the shop. What the hell, dude?
After watching one episode of the Talk to a podcast, I wanted to announce that I am quitting YouTube and becoming a full-time neurosurgeon, astronaut, and monk, all because of this podcast. This is one of the most enlightening podcasts that I have ever watched, and I just wanted to say thank you, Hawk Tua Girl, for opening my third eye and helping me evolve as a human being with your phenomenal podcast. I really appreciate you. All jokes aside, no hate to her. She's just capitalizing off her opportunity like any other human being would in her position. But overall, I just don't think there's anything really interesting about this woman that sets her apart from all these other podcasts out there. Yeah, she may be able to get some great guests on there because the podcast is connected to Better, which is a sports media company co-owned by Jake Paul.
Logan Paul, Jake Paul, any of the Pauls? Jake Paul? It's every day, bro, with the Disney Channel flow. 5 mil on YouTube, been 6 months, never done before. Pass all the competition, man. PewDiePie is next, and I'm writing all these checks. Got the brand new Rolex, and I got the Lambo too, and I'm coming with the crew. This is Team 10, bitch. Who the hell am flipping? Yo, I love me some Team 10, yo.
So far, you know, like I said, there's not much interesting about this woman. She got famous for saying how she spits on the nutsack. You feel me? But like I said, she's just capitalizing off of a once in a lifetime.
You keep saying RuPaul.
Podcasts, after all, aren't the hardest thing.
They aren't a part of the Paul
family.
family.
One of those things that I believe is the easiest.
I'm not clip farming. I'm not clip farming. Stop saying I'm clip farming. Like, what are you talking about, dude? Because I love Jake Paul. I'm clip farming now. I love Team 10. What the hell is your problem?
But hard to master. The bare minimum is to get a few mics, sit down with some friends, record, chat for a little bit, and boom, you got a podcast. Like
if they would have heard me screaming at the top of my lungs, I love Jake Paul. I'm not clip farming. I think I'd be on the porch today.
Not that hard. And if you already have an audience, it makes creating a podcast even easier. Because if the audience you've garnered cares to watch you for like maybe a few seconds or a few minutes each day, they'll for sure listen to you talk for about 2 hours each week. So it makes sense to
Did y'all see the thing in the corner that said I love Ozempic?
Nowadays. But like the title said.
Speaking of Ozempic, do y'all think Ice Spice takes Ozempic? Do y'all think she's on Ozempic? And I was looking, and she says she's not, right? She says no Ozempic. She just works out. But then, and of course, body transformations happen all the time, right? Like, it's not out of the realm of possibility that she didn't take any sort of, you know, Ozempic during her, like, I guess, year and a half of body transforming. But at the same time, it's like the change felt too dramatic. Like, she went from a tiny bit chunky, like she was a little chunky. She had some arm jiggle, right? But then she went to completely like skinny, like real skinny. And it's like, I'm not saying I have a preference for one or the other. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what you guys should get out of my thing. But it's like, yo, is she lying? Isis, are you lying? Did you get that way so you can get in Fortnite? Okay. The Fortnite update. Well, last thing. Fortnite update was like 60 something gigs for DeMar because they had to add the Ice Spice shaky butt physics to the files, and that it took up a lot of space. It took about, like, I had to explain it to him just like that. So when Ice Spice gets into the game, every time she walks, it's like boom, like tectonic plates colliding together. on the island. So
not everyone
be ready
needs
for that.
one. While some of them are good, some just feel like people talking just to talk. Like, I wouldn't even call some people's podcast a podcast. I'd rather call it mic terrorism. The other day, I saw a podcast clip of two dudes talking about lefty loosey, righty tighty being the greatest invention of all time.
Lefty loosey, righty tighty is like the craziest invention of man. I use that all the time. The saying lefty loosey, righty tighty. We just got a new machine. It's like it's called an articulating log loader.
Yeah, what?
It sounds like my toilet paper.
Yeah.
There's forks like this that picks up a log, and then it can open and close on it, and the left button opens it and the right button closes it. And I literally say to myself, I'm like, lefty loosey, righty tighty, when I need to let go or grab on. It's
this style of content, right? Oh snap, my bad. Don't look at my search history, y'all. This style of content, like the podcast clip and then like the subtitles like right dab in the middle of the screen, this type of content isn't healthy. Like, it's I don't want to say it's been proven, but it's like watching all these people make me feel successful in life, right? Watching these people make me feel like I can be successful, like I'm going to, you know, pop off soon, right? But like this content is so like gratifying in a way. Like, you just get everything. Like, nobody's gonna sit through the whole podcast to get this specific clip, right? They just get the clip and then they milk you for about 20 to 30 seconds, right? And then you just off to the next clip. And it's like, yo, your dopamine receptors are getting so fried to the point where it's like you can't even sit in a room for a second and not think about Subway Surfers. I noticed this when I was in bed earlier. I was like, yo, I gotta get up and do something, right? I noticed that I would close TikTok, go to a different app, close that app, and open TikTok again. Bull's asking for drum handouts, shaking my head. What do you? Oh, he's talking about Fortnite. That happened so long ago. But yeah, I'm like, yo, and every time, I think after the second time I do it, I'm like, yo, I actually need to get up and do something, because this isn't. I have to stimulate my brain a different way, because me just scrolling through TikTok, oh my gosh, just thinking about it makes my head hurts. I had my volume down. Where you at, Xylophone? What was I about to say? I get headaches from TikTok, and I can't be on it for too long. I feel like more recently, I've been spending a lot more time on TikTok, and I need to stop. So yeah, I need to stack more, grind harder, talk less. That's a meme. That's a meme on my phone.
Tattooed on myself.
Like, no offense to these two dudes at all, because they're probably great people. I could probably sit down, chop it up with them, eat a steak, and just vibe out with these dudes. But there's got to be something way more interesting to talk about than a saying used for when you're screwing something in. Like, what's next? Are we going to talk about bunny ears being the best method to tie your shoes? Or maybe even schist being the best rock there is? This conversation just feels so bland and pointless. Like, if an alien were to imagine two human beings talking, I'm pretty sure it'd think of this AI generated ass convo right here. Like, this is the product of podcasts being so easy to start up.
Kamala!
Dudes talking about screwing.
Oh my gosh. Kamala. Oh my gosh. I pray that this is the last day they text my phone about voting! I'm going to vote! Oh my gosh. I've deleted within probably like the past month over 300 messages of them constantly harassing me about voting. I'm going to vote. Oh my gosh. And I keep getting messages. It's finally election day, Ranson. You have your plan. You know which candidate on the ballot will protect the American Oh. Who are they referring to? Okay, anyway. Today's your last chance to vote in 2024. Who you vote for is secret, but whether you vote or not is on your public record permanently. Vote now. Press stop to end. Stop talking to me. Oh my gosh. Like, everybody's been harassed. Like, it's not even just a me problem. Every single person I know has been getting harassed with Kamala or Trump messages. Okay. Oh snap. Okay, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Not me. What do you mean, not you? You're not a real U.S. citizen. Okay, hold on. All right, we're good now. Okay, sorry. Yo, yes, I am a young boy. What? Yo, what? So go get your ID. Go vote.
Mechanisms as a topic of interest. Like, I don't think every conversation has to be important in a podcast, but there's no way that these dudes copped some premium podcast mics, got the setup and everything just to talk about lefty loosey, righty tighty. This podcast just has no meaning at all. It's just yip and yap going back and forth about nothing. I swear these cool podcasts just get worse and worse, bro. Like, there's just too many podcasts.
He's not a real citizen, y'all. What more? If y'all wanted to dox him, he wouldn't be a real person. Where's your social security? Drop your social security in chat, actually.
Is there really to talk about? We gotta sit here and like just think for a second. What more is there really to talk about? Instead of having to get a degree for a job, people need to start getting a degree for a podcast. Like, let's just be real. Like, is there really a need for a podcast where frat dudes talk about Hawk Tuah?
You're weird.
I don't know if you heard of the Hawk Tuah girl.
Yeah.
Kamala backed Biden my gosh, she's listening. She's listening.
Spit on that thing.
Bro, that blew out of proportion. Like, I low-key think it got too big.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't even know if I've seen the clip. But...
Oh my god. Holy cringe. This is how many likes or views do you think this video got? Like, I don't even know if I saw the Hawk Tuah clip. Did you see the Hawk Tuah clip? I think it got too massive. Dude, the Hawk Tuah clip, I don't even know. I've never seen that. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I literally gained nothing from what they've said at all. Because granted, they're already talking about Hawk Tuah. So my brain instantly goes up. This is nothing I'm gonna retain. But dude just gave us the podcast name of the future. What are you talking about?
Good for her, I guess. I don't know.
No, like, it's everywhere, dude. Even at like Old Town, you'll hear Hawk.
Yo, the Hawk Tuah meme is actually massive. I still see tons of Hawk Tuah memes that still get millions of likes. Hawk Tuah. Imagine if Hawk Tuah got a low taper fade. Imagine if Hawk Tuah got a low taper fade. Yo!
Tuah remixes.
Really?
Yes.
Bro, I think it's crazy that you can like do one little thing and a clip can go viral and then all of a sudden the next day you're like a celebrity. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy.
Yo, this guy in the comment section even gets it. This man said podcast equipment should cost $1 billion. I totally agree. I'm not gonna lie, like, no offense to these dudes, probably some great people, but I'd rather drag my balls through the hot Sahara desert than listen to these frat dudes talk for 2 hours straight. You best believe I'm serving a life sentence before I listen to Jimmy and Tom from the Beta Theta Sigma frat talk on a podcast
How many times I gotta say it,
2
man?
hours. Like, this podcast is just dry.
How many times I gotta say it? $5.99. $5.99. Become a subscriber for $5.99. How many times I gotta say it?
Than a Popeye's biscuit. There is no energy at all to this conversation. And you may be thinking like, bro, you can't judge off of just one clip of the podcast, you know? This is every clip.
What is your favorite frat?
I don't know. I like how big SAE's parties are and like Lambda, but like I think ASIG just threw
free
a really
99.
cool
Okay.
party,
Oh, I heard, dude.
Yeah.
Kyle was just on it. He's an ASIG.
That's such.
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
such. I don't mean to piss on this guy, right? But this is what it's gonna come off as sounding like. This guy. Oh yeah, that's so lit, dude. Like cause me and my friends, we wanted to start a podcast, right? And I genuinely, like, I know everybody says this, I genuinely think that my friends are like, they are very, very funny, right? And looking back at the stuff they say to each other, at the two episodes we recorded, we were just talking about nonsense, right? It's like, yo. And these are the first 2 videos on this channel, I think. So if you go all the way down or just sort by new, you'll see. Oh my gosh, I love those videos so much. They're so funny. But yeah, it's like everybody's like a little nervous, you could tell. But it was more like once everybody kind of got into it, and like I did the cutting, of course. Like it was so funny. Like everybody just brought really good energy. This guy, oh yeah, it's so lit. You know, like it sucks. It sucks.
It was a really good party.
This podcast just sucks. This convo just sounds so generic and bland. No energy at all. Just, what's your favorite frat? I like SAA. They're big. Oh my god, I heard Kyle's there. Like, get this off the airways, bruh. Like, what did Joe Budden say?
That shit is a 2-pack of ass.
I genuinely wish I could take back the few seconds of my life I wasted watching that podcast clip, because now I just feel 10x dumber than what I was before. I feel like one of the keys to a great podcast is an entertaining host, because there's going to be boring parts to a podcast, and it's up to the host to make that podcast interesting.
And I feel like everybody can't do that. Everybody can't make things interesting. Not everybody's an interesting person, right? I think on a scale of 1 to 10, do I think I'm an interesting person? Solid 6, right? Like I think I can say some outlandish things, right? But like, I don't know. It's like, again, a 6. I don't think I could carry a whole podcast on my own, like me just being a host, right? Because you have to be like constantly outgoing. You have to constantly be like, you know, cracking jokes and stuff like that. And it's like, I can maybe do it once in a while, but like on a weekly basis or something like that, I don't think I'm capable of doing that. Sorry. That's why I make videos on the main channel. Like I script everything out. Like, if I think of a joke, like, 2 days later when I'm in the script, I just add the joke in, you know? Like, I don't know. Like, this kind of style of content is, like, I feel like I'm getting better at it. But at the same time, it's like, I really, really much prefer. I think you get the best of me when I'm doing content on the main channel, you know?
When it's getting dry. But the problem with this podcast is that the host has the personality of a raw chicken wing. So when he talks about boring topics and he's also boring, that just makes the podcast 10 times more boring. Another problem with everyone starting a podcast is that some people don't believe that they need to do proper research before they record. Like a little bit ago on Twitch, there was this streamer named Jason the Ween who hit 100,000 subscribers, you know? He was number 2 on Twitch for his amount of subscribers in that month. And then there was this shitty TikTok podcast called the 949 podcast that decided to give their opinion on the whole situation. And no, they're not really knowledgeable when it comes to this whole streaming space.
Oh my gosh, that's not even just a podcast thing. That's just a YouTube, just a social media thing in general. People will just say stuff just to be right first instead of having like the correct information about what they're saying. You get what I'm saying? Perfect example, I was watching this earlier. The Mr. Beast stuff, it's been going on for a while. I've been keeping up with it personally, not because I like Mr. Breast. It's just like really interesting how it's been going down and how kind of, I guess, normal people don't really care anymore. It's been so long. It's been 3 months at this point. But then chronically online people like me have kind of like, you know, been still keeping tabs. You do? What do you mean? Okay, because he's saying I like Mr. Breast. Have been keeping tabs on it, and the guy Dogpack, who worked for Mr. Beast at one point, but then he came out and made the videos about him trying to expose him. I think in the either second or third video he made, he accused somebody of abusing their girlfriend, right? And they were like, his sources were saying like, oh, that sounds like him. It definitely is him, because it's not, he did something to like a dog or something. So they were like, oh, that definitely sounds like something he would do. And turns out it was just a person with the same name that had an abuse charge, but it wasn't really the guy who worked for Mr. Beast. I don't know if you guys are following along with that, but yeah. So if you're going online just spewing information just to be the first one to do it, like, your credibility instantly gets hit if that information is wrong. Like, of course, it's like massive reward for if you get there first and you're right, but then it's massive. Like, people are just gonna completely disregard what you say for as long as, you know, you're on the internet, because you got this wrong. You didn't put in you didn't do your due diligence. So yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to see, crazy to like think that people just want clicks all crazy instead of just, you know, being right the first time. But at the end of the day, it's content. People are doing this for money. You got to be TMZ and accurate and early. But even so, like, I know there's probably been times where TMZ has not been the most accurate, you know? But, you know, none of my business.
Oh, this was their take.
Streaming is the new wave. It's It's just, but the thing is, it's the new wave because of clips.
Exactly.
Like Jason the Ween, guess how many live viewers he has? Just guess.
Depends on the time.
Just guess.
Like
You guys
5K?
guess. Well, how many live viewers do you think he got?
Like,
I don't
like
really
3K?
know. I don't know what to even the
3K. So like he's like a number 2, or I guess like, well, he has like around 15 to 20.
Election alert. Election day is on.
Oh. Oh, wow. That's pretty good.
But the thing about it, like, that's not that good in terms of like views.
That's true,
I feel
but
like it's
live,
good for live.
That's what I'm saying. It's good for live, but think about the people in the world. It's only 15K.
15K, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Streaming is not like a mainstream thing
Big,
yet.
big,
It's only
yeah.
mainstream because of the clips that they put out after.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. Just listening to this, it's like, do they even know what they're talking about? Clearly, the two girls don't know what they're talking about. But then the dudes are just like, this is just a whole nothing burger, nothing sandwich, nothing meal. Like, what are they talking about? Like, give me their clout. Give me their clout. I'm gonna handle it responsibly. Come on, man.
Which
Right.
get millions and millions of views.
Right.
But no one's actually watching that shit live.
Yeah. No, literally, bro.
There's a few things that piss me off about this Dookie TikTok podcast. Number one, this man is saying streaming is only big because of clips. Yeah, because nobody's gonna sit there and watch an 8-hour stream front to back, you fucking idiot. So to make it more digestible for the average viewer, streamers and their audiences make clips so that more people can see their streams. What's
Exactly. I think. Ooh, excuse me. I'm not a clip farmer. If I were to cut up my clips, if this was my main channel right now, I would cut up a lot of these VODs and turn them into just regular clips, you know? Because, like, that's a money printer. Like, clips make so much money. Oh my gosh. And, like, when I do the second channel content, right? Or not the shorts, I mean, on the main channel. They juice so much. I think the last one I got had like 10K views, which is like, whoa. Oh my gosh. And it's like, who would watch, especially if you're like not a kid, who would watch another grown man, another grown woman stream for 8 hours a day? That's insane. That is insane. Like, I get it when people don't want to watch, like, me for, like, the 2 hours that I go live, right? And I try to make it as streamlined as possible, right? Like, I try to make sure I follow the same schedule. I try to do reactions. And I make sure it's, like, as digestible as possible. And then when I'm making, like, you know, longer content, if to find shit, I would. If she's fine shit, I would. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? If she was fine shit, you would sit in an 8-hour stream watching her do whatever. You must be out of your mind. Oh my gosh. I can barely sit for 8 hours. I don't think anybody can just sit for 8 hours straight. I have to be doing something. My brain has to be stimulated. Oh, you out of your mind, Xavier. But yeah, that's crazy.
so bad about that? Another thing this man says is 15K live viewers isn't good views because the clips get millions.
Oh my gosh, 15K live viewers. If 15,000 people are in here right now, oh my gosh, my bills would be paid. Oh my gosh, because imagine how many people are donating. Imagine how many people are subbing. Imagine how many people are. That's a lot of money. That's the thing. You not being able to sit. What do you mean? I can sit for long periods of time. I sat for like 4 hours on Sunday, just editing. Like I was in the zone. I woke up at 8, stopped editing at 1. Yo, I was him. But yeah, it's. I was talking about views. I'm tweaking. Yeah, like not all of their followers. It's really dumb. It's really stupid to think that all of your followers from your YouTube are always gonna watch all your things. Like if you have like 2 million followers, you're gonna get 2 million views every video, or 2 million people watch a stream every stream. That's dumb. That's stupid. Because one, there's like alternate accounts. Some people bot. Some people just have conflicting schedules. Like, let's be for real. Like, that's such a nothing. Give the 494 podcast, give that TikTok clout to me, and I'll do something with it. I'll do something.
That's how the internet works. And 15K is good because it puts him in the top 0.1% of streamers. Like, why is it surprising that?
Like, just thinking about that, that's a ton of people. Like, what kind of event can you compare that to? Like a concert, maybe? Like, wow. That 15,000 people. Like, imagine 15,000 people standing in front of you right now. You can't even fathom that many people standing in front of you.
A live stream has less views than a TikTok video. Are we becoming this slow in society where we can't comprehend that a live stream that you have to watch live has less views than a video where you can watch whenever? This dude knows nothing about what he's talking about. He's just saying a hot take because he has a mic in his face with the cameras on. This podcast just sounds like one huge gossip session. That's the problem with a lot of these podcasts. Some of them are just gossip sessions. Another situation of a podcast host not knowing what they're talking about is this one right here. So a little bit ago, there was a situation with Kai Cenat, right? He had a cameraman that was talking to an underage girl, and this podcast decided to put out their take on it because, hey, it was a fresh topic. Why don't we say something about it, you know? Why don't we do it for the clicks and engagement? And this is what they had to say.
Kai Cenat, everybody can't go. You need to start looking around. And I know, like, black people specifically, when you get some success, you want to bring everybody with you, but you got to be able to kind of weed that shit out. I should have known who Chris V is. I should have known who Chris Next Door is.
But Chris Next Door is literally an AMP member. What do you mean that you shouldn't know who he is?
I don't know any of the AMP people. I know Phantom Tax, Agent, Kai Cenat, the Asian dude Ray. Is he not a part of AMP? They just picked him up off the street or something. Phantom Tax. That's all I know. I don't. Duke Dennis Ritz. Hold on, I'm about to Aura Farm. Hold on. I'm about to Aura Farm. Yo, that's funny.
You know who Kai Cenat is because you are the driving force in it, but them I shouldn't even know who they are.
I think it's important to highlight that Chris Next Door is an AMP member. If you guys don't know what AMP is, that is Kai Cenat's group.
That's the problem. Kai Cenat shouldn't have a group.
Kai Cenat joined the group before he became this huge mega streaming machine. This dude knows nothing about what he's talking.
Like he's just talking at that point, and people get so mad at me in my videos. And gradually, I've tried to make sure, like what I'm saying, I try to double check. I try to, make sure what I'm saying is informed, right? Especially on the main channel, because people get tight when I make a mistake. Like that just comes off as blatant, like, oh, I don't care, I just want the clip, With a case like me, I'm soapboxing right now. I'm not even gonna lie. With a case like me, it's like what's the perfect a video I did a while ago. I talked about Studio Mappa, and I said that Attack on Titan was animated by Studio Mappa, or season one was animated by Studio Bones, and it was animated by Studio, and people were tight about that. And then the Bleach trailer, this was real weird, and again, mistake on my end. The Bleach trailer for 1,000 Year Blood War was animated by Studio Mappa, but then I think Wit Studio still animated the rest of the 1,000 Year Blood War. I was really, really confused about that, but People were telling me, I'm like, oh, okay. But my sentiment still like stood, you know, like I was tired of seeing Studio Mappa everywhere, you know. Still am, not gonna lie.
Talking about he just saying a hot take because he's on a podcast.
That's how they got on.
Yeah. Having a team and making it with your team is very important. But if there are problematic people in there, kick them out immediately.
But you gotta know,
like, what kind of take is that? Like, of course, like if somebody is talking to kids in my group, kick them out. Like, what type of take is that? Like, why wouldn't you do that? Why do you have to say it in the podcast? Like, and I'm starting to think like, podcasting is just such low level. Like, it wasn't always like that. Podcasting, you like, oh, you listen to podcasts? Whoa, you're a pretty smart person. But now if I hear you listen to podcasts, it's like, okay, I know what type of person you are. You're dumb. And not all podcasts are like this, right? It's just the I don't even know how to describe this genre, but yeah.
Like, he is the one. I get it.
So he should abandon everybody?
Yes.
He did not do this alone. Like, there was a journey of a camp of them.
They came together.
And I agree, like, this problematic person, this person that was underage girls, he has to go. Like, bye, we're never speaking to you, cut ties.
Now that we are here, and it's the second, third, however many times something like this has happened, what does he do moving forward? Because now, it can't keep happening. You have to insulate yourself, because at the end of the day, that group doesn't mean anything without him.
That is cap, because everyone actually grew themselves before they were in AMP. That's why it worked so well as a group, because everyone had their own platform before joining. Except for Chris, he kind of created his platform after, but he was still pretty known. But this guy just knows nothing about what he's talking about, and this is my problem with so many of these podcasts. Like, if you're gonna put out a statement on any current topic, you gotta do the research to back it up. You're gonna end up looking like an idiot. You can't just go in willy-nilly on something that you know nothing about. That's why a lot of bigger podcasts like Joe Rogan have someone who can fact check, which is Jamie on his podcast. And if you can't afford someone to be in that spot, you should just look it up yourself before you put out this idiotic take on something you know nothing about. Like, there's a difference between...
I'm gonna start spouting out nonsense. I'm gonna start saying I poop myself, and I'm gonna leave it for y'all to fact check. That sound good? Y'all good with that? I poop myself.